So today we will try typing the program. So roughly, as I'll just show you the program. Here we will be making functions for pushing what all we will be pushing into the stack, either the left parenthesis or the operators. Now we will be pushing it onto the stack, and we will be popping out when we encounter a right parenthesis. We will be popping out all the operators from the top of the stack, and for that we are writing separate functions. Okay, because it will be called many times. Okay, then we have the precedence operator and precedence function. In precedence functions, we'll be checking for the precedence of the operator, whether it is higher or whether the incoming operator has a lower precedence. So those will be checked over here in the function called precede. Then we are declaring the stack as a global variable, and top is a variable which will be pointing to the or it is having the index number of the topmost variable. Then now then after that, in the main we will be initializing the again one more character array which is of the same size as that of the stack. So max is declared as a symbolic constant of size 20, and both the stack and the infix are of size 20. Max means 20. Okay, then this is a function that you need not use it. So in case some error comes in, when junk characters are coming, we can just print flush or that I'll show you later. Now we will be accepting the infix expression in the character array called infix. Okay, so we'll be accepting the infix expression in the character array called infix, and then we will be pushing a left parenthesis onto the stack. We had studied, right? We will be pushing a left parenthesis onto the stack. Then after that, we are finding the length of the infix expression. We are finding the length of the infix expression in a variable called j. Then we will be using a for loop in order to get one by one the symbols read into a variable called ch. So ch is also declared as a character. Got it? So we will be scanning each character of the string, which is nothing but our infix expression. Infix expression will be accepted in the form of a string in a character array called infix. Got it? So we will be reading the first character, which may be like if it is an expression like a plus b star c, a will be the first character read into the variable called ch. After that, we will be checking whether is an alphabet or numeric. So this I told already. If it is an alphabet or a numeric value, what value we have scanned in ch, we will be checking whether it is an alphabet or numeric. If it is either an alphabet or a numeric, then it is considered as an operand. So what you have to do, directly print it on the screen. That's why we are using a printf statement. After that, we will be, so in case it is not an alphabet or numeric value, then you are checking with an else if whether it is a left parenthesis. Left parenthesis means what we have to do, we have to push the left parenthesis onto the stack. Right. So for this, we are using push of the left parenthesis. And then in the else part, so you know what is the syntax of an else if statement. And now next within 2 weeks you are going to write the C exam, right? So what is the syntax of if statement? What is the syntax of if else, and here what are the different types of if statements you have studied? Else if ladder also, you know, without else part also, you know. Here we have a statement with the if, else if, and the default case which is mentioned over here in the else part. Okay, if, else if, you can have as many else if as you want, and then at the end, you know, the default, if it doesn't fall to any of these else if cases, if and else if conditions, it will be taken as the else part, right? So we are checking whether it is an alphanumeric or if it is equal to a left parenthesis. Else, so if it is not an operand or not an left parenthesis, then it will move towards the else part. So in the else part, what all we will be having? There are only two possibilities now. Either it will be a right parenthesis, right? If it is a right parenthesis, what we have to do? We have to pop out the stack until a left parenthesis, until we get a left parenthesis. So pop out and print all the character operators on top of the stack. So for that we have popping and printing. So whatever operator we are popping out, it will be printed onto the display. So this while is nothing but a statement which will be executed. If you want to give it in a bracket, you can, because this is the only line which will be executed until the top of the stack becomes equal to a left parenthesis. When it becomes equal to left parenthesis, it comes out of the while loop. Then it will be popping the left parenthesis. Yesterday I told, right? It will be popping out and printing all the operators on top of the stack until it reaches a left parenthesis. When it reaches a left parenthesis, it will be only popping out. It will not print a left parenthesis. So in the postfix expression, we will not be having any left parenthesis. Okay. So only the operators on top of the stack will be printed onto the display. Now, in this else part of the topmost if statement, you see here we have an if statement with else if and then else. In this else part, I have a if else statement. Did you notice that? Here it is a nested if statement, right? In the else part, I am having one more if else statement. Got it? In the else part of the first if statement, I have one more else if. If else statement. Got it? From here to here. So this if statement, so as I told, initially we checked whether it is an operand, and then we checked whether it is a left parenthesis. And if doesn't fall to these two categories, it comes to the else part. In else part, what we are going to check, whether it is a right parenthesis or whether it is an operator. So that's why we have in else part two things to be checked. That's why we are using a if statement with an else part. If it is equal to a right parenthesis, we will be popping out and printing all the operators on top of the stack, and then we will pop out the left parenthesis. In else part, so if it doesn't, if it is not a right parenthesis, what else is remaining? It will be a operator. You know, operators, when we scan an operator, what we should do? We should be checking the precedence of the operators on top of the stack, right? So the incoming operator is in the character called ch. We know that in ch is a variable which we are using to check the operator which is, or the symbol which we scanned from the infix expression, right? So we are checking while precedence of the incoming operator is lesser than or equal to precedence of the operator which is on top of the stack. You know, the stack will be consisting of only the left parenthesis and operators, right? So we are checking whether the precedence, you are using two times we are calling the function called precede. I'll show you what is precede. That is a function which we have written down, which will be checking whether the precedence of the, suppose I have multiplication operator scanned in the variable ch. I'll be checking whether on top of the stack, if I am having an addition operator, I'll be checking whether the precedence of the multiplication operator is greater than the precedence of the operator which is on top of the stack, which can be either addition operator or division operator. So what is the case if precedence operator, suppose it is the incoming is asterisk or multiplication symbol, and we have a division operator on top, means it will be equal. Precedence will be equal. If precedence is equal, then we'll be popping out and printing the operator, right? So we will be popping out and printing the operator. If it is of lesser, if it is of lower precedence also, we will be popping out and printing. Got it? This is the case. This is the only line which will be executed if it is lesser than or equal to the precedence of the operator which is on top of the stack. Got it? If you want to give one bracket, what does it mean? If this while condition is true, it will execute only this line. Got it? So until it becomes greater, it will be executing this one. Suppose in that case, I had told you if it is of equal precedence, and in the case of the higher precedence and all, I had given you the conditions, right? So this part, so here In both the cases, if it is higher precedence, we will be just pushing it. Equal precedence means we will be popping out and pushing. And if it is of lower precedence, what you will be doing? And then again, no, after popping out is there for both equal precedence and lower precedence. But in lower precedence, after popping out of the top of the stack operator, again, suppose you have one more operator on top of the stack, we will be again checking for the precedence. Okay, so if it is again the second operator in the from the top, if it is which is of equal precedence, means what you will do? We will again pop up the operator. Suppose it is of higher precedence, means we'll be pushing the operator which is incoming onto the stack. Right. So, so these conditions, will be taken care if we are using one while loop, and when it is greater, or the incoming operator is of higher precedence, it will not be going to this while loop also. It will just push it. Higher precedence means what you will do? You will be pushing the operator onto the stack. But so those three conditions are taken care of here. If it is lesser precedence and equal precedence, it will be popping out and printing. And then when it is higher precedence, it will not go to this while loop statement. It will be just executing the pushing of the operator onto the stack. Got it? So all these will be happening within the for loop. Okay, so we have started the for loop from here, and within this, we will be reading one character or one symbol from the expression. This the symbol which is read will be falling into any of these four cases. What are the four cases? Either it can be a alphanumeric, that means it will be an operand, or it can be a left parenthesis. Where is it? Left parenthesis, which will be pushed onto the stack, or it can be a right parenthesis, which will make operators to pop out from the stack, right? Or it will be falling into an operator, which will be checking for the precedence of the operator on top of the stack. So these are the four conditions for a character or for a symbol which is being scanned. From the infix expression. So from this for loop, I'm just showing up to where it is going. Okay, up to here it will be going. When you come out of the for loop, what you will be doing? So if you have a left parenthesis, see in this expression, suppose if you have a left parenthesis, I hope you are able to see there are expressions with left and right parenthesis within this expression, right? Not the only left parenthesis which we put after the expression. There can be inner left parenthesis also, right? So in order to have this left parenthesis within the for loop, you will be you have one checking of left parenthesis, right? Here we are checking for the left parenthesis over here, right? If it is a left parenthesis, we will be pushing it onto the stack. And if it is a right parenthesis, so there can be expressions with the inner left and right parenthesis. To take care of the inner left and right parenthesis, you will be making use of this whenever you encounter a right parenthesis, that is sub-expression right parenthesis, closing of right parenthesis, you will be popping out all the operators until you encounter a left parenthesis. Got it? Here, left parenthesis. So that is for taking care of the inner sub-expression. When you come out of this for loop, I have kept here, in the, where is it? When you come out of the for loop, there is one more checking whether the stack of the top is a left parenthesis. This is to take care of the last, we have inserted one left parenthesis onto the stack, right? So before that, if you have any operators or on top of that, if you have any operators, and to take care of the or to pop out all the operators on top of the stack and to empty the stack, we will be using this while loop. So this is coming outside the for loop. Got it? So this will take care of the remaining operator and the left parenthesis which we have inserted. So all the other inner sub expression left and right parenthesis will be taken care by this while loop. And the same sentence, we are having it over here. You see, while stack of top is not equal to left parenthesis, print and pop all the characters or the all the operators on top of the stack, and at the end we will be popping out our left parenthesis. Similarly, the same coding you can have it over here. This is used only for popping out the last parenthesis which we have inserted. Now we are moving on to the functions which we are calling from this. What was the first function? I showed you that precede is a function which is used within the when we scan a. Here you see this is for checking for the precedence of the characters. No, precedence of the operators. Sorry, precedence of the operators. Right? You know what are the three levels of operators? You have highest precedence for the exponential operator. So for exponential operator, the symbol used in the keyboard is, you know, above 6 you have this exponential operator, right? So above 6 you have this exponential operator. So we are giving the highest precedence for the exponential operator. For that is given as case. No? So you are labeling the case with that operator symbol itself. And in case you are getting this operator, when you pop out from the stack, or the incoming operator as this operator, you will be returning 3. But you can give any number, but you should make sure that exponential is getting the highest precedence. But I'm using 1, 2, and 3. Among the addition, subtraction, multiplication and all, highest I have given to exponential. Got it? So then what are the other operators, or the second level? Second level is for the multiplication and the division. So can anybody explain why what is the why I didn't give any break statement for the switch case? Abhishek, can you explain? Abhishek, why I didn't give any break statement for this? You know, the syntax of switch case is having for each case, we will be, after writing the statements, you have to give a break statement, right? What does it mean?
Because it is not executing any functions.
Sorry?
It is not executing any functions.
No, here in switch case, we don't have any function. No, only some statements we are executing. Right, for the when I'm giving a addition operator, it should execute some statement. When I'm giving subtraction also, I should execute some statement. But I didn't give any statements also for addition, and for subtraction, no, I have given a statement. If you want, I can give it down. Usually we will give it like this, right? Then you will remember, I think. I have only statement which is executed if it is subtraction is a return 1. Okay, so it will be returning, and after that we usually write the syntax of all should study. Now again exams are coming up. No, you should brush up all your theory. So here usually the case switch case statement is, you will be writing the case with a case label colon, and then write the statements to be executed and followed by a break. Why in this syntax, you know, I didn't give any break statement, and I didn't give any statements to be executed for the addition operator?
Ma'am, because we have given the exact character, ma'am, as a case condition.
Exit where I have given?
Character.
Huh?
Case character, ma'am, after the case.
It is not exit. No, I didn't give any exit character also. I'll tell you. No, this is case label. Now, whenever I get an operator addition, it will come over here and try to execute the statements even over here. Listen here, these tricky questions will be asked even for the interview. That's why I'm telling you. This will be there in the interview question, that is for sure. Here, more complicated will be there. Here, what is the meaning of, I have given you in the theory also. If we didn't give any break statement for the first case, what will happen is, it will continue its execution until we find either a break or anything which will make the statement to come out of this switch case. Here return will make it to come out of the switch case, either return or break, but we need a value to be returned to the place where we call the function. Now here all of you listen, for both the cases, for both addition and subtraction, when you have it as an operator, both will be returning 1. Is it clear? So here, if I didn't give any statement And if I didn't give any break, if I didn't give any return statement, what it will do? The compiler will be executing line by line. And for case addition operator and for case subtraction operator, it will be returning 1 to the called function. From wherever we are calling no to there, it will be returning 1. Or the output of the switch case, when we have a addition or a subtraction, it will be 1. Got it? Listen, now for the addition and for the multiplication and the division, what will happen here? Also, I am not, for multiplication, I am not having any break statement, neither I am having any return statement. So what it will do for case multiplication and for case division, it will be returning 2. Understood? No need of break over here because we have a return. It will be returning the control back to the function where we had called. So wherever the precede function we had called, where we had called in the while loop condition, we had called precede. Got it? In the variable called ch, we have multiplication or division operator. Got it? In here also one more time we are calling precede for the topmost operator which is present in the stack. Now we are comparing the precedence of both. So suppose the symbol which is read or the operator which is read from the infix expression is multiplication, and the operator on top of the stack. Instead of top of the stack, I'll be getting the operator. Suppose it is a addition operator. So what will happen when you check this condition? You know that multiplication operator is having higher precedence, so it will not go out. It will not execute this printf statement. It will come out and execute this one. Got it? So wherever we are calling this precede with the character, ch means the character which is being read or the symbol which is read from the infix expression. So character can be, in our case, suppose it is exponential. The value of when you read from that expression, if it is a exponential, and on top of the stack, if you have what addition operator, what will happen? You will be passing this or you will be calling this precede function, and this precede function with the exponential and an addition operator. So this function, when it calls, it will come out, it will be going to this line, and it will assign that exponential operator to this character variable, and to this switch case, switch statement will be executed with a exponential character, and then it will check whether it is a addition, no, a subtraction, no, it is a multiplication, no, and it will come to this exponential and it will be returning 3. Got it? So this function with a switch case, it will be returning 3. This is a return value, integer. So this return of 3 will be taken back over here. So this precede will be returned as 3. Got it? So this will be replacing as 3. Now what will happen for this precede of addition operator? So when you call that function, it will come over here. So it will go and check case label addition. Yes, but there is no statement to be executed. So it will go to the next line. Then it will do, no, it will not check for the case because it will continue the execution if you are not executing any break statement. Got it? So now it finds a statement, return 1. So for both addition and subtraction, it will be taking only this return statement. So this return of 1 will be taken care, because here we have given a return as an integer. So this return 1 will be taken to the place where we called this function. So where it will be taking, so here precede of plus will be replaced by what? It will be replaced by 1. So now it will be checking while 3 is lesser than or equal to, 3 is not lesser nor it is equal to 3. So it will not execute this line. It will come to this line, and what it will have, what it will do, we were checking with the character of exponential, right? So it will be pushing this exponential character into the stack. This is how the calling of the function will happen. Understood? So I'll write it back, this one. No? So here, this is how the precede function will be working. So you have to keep it in mind that whenever we are not writing any break statement or any return or any of the statements to be executed. Suppose I give a statement here, printf. In the case label plus, if I give printf hi. If I just give hi, what will happen? It will be printing for both the cases, even if the case label in the switch case, if I'm getting addition also, subtraction also, it will be printing a hi and then returning one. Okay, whatever statements we have written over here, it will be executed for both the case labels. I hope like you understood. If I had given a break over here, what will happen? Break means it will not execute anything. It will just revert back into the place where we call the function. Understood? If I am not mentioning a break here, instead of break, I am returning the value. If I am not, if I want to give like return 4 means it will be returning. Otherwise, if I am not mentioning any statement over here, means it will continue its execution to the next case until it find a break or a return. Okay, so this will be the cases when we give the 3 levels of operators. You can write in any order, but you should remember that exponential should be given the highest precedence. That's why I gave 3. And now if the operators are not falling into any of these categories, suppose unknowingly you pressed some other operator, a percentage symbol and all, no, and we are not taking care of this percentage or the average and all, no. So what you will do, it will be taking, it will be going into the default case and it will be returning 0. Any operator other than those which we have mentioned here, or any other symbols which you enter, no, it will be taken as return 0. So it will be returning 0 whenever we are calling this function. Got it? So this will be our precede. So this is our for this, we are using the precede function. So in order to determine the precedence or to give the precedence for the operators. The next function which we have written is push. You know what is pushing into the stack and popping from the stack? We had executed one program also, right? We were checking whether the stack is full. Stack implementation can be either done using a array or using a linked list, right? We had executed, yesterday I took for BCA batch. The last week we had executed a program for pushing and popping an item into the stack, right? So in the pushing operation, what we are supposed to do, we will be incrementing the top variable. What is top variable? Top is an integer variable which will be pointing to the index number of the topmost value or the topmost element in the stack, right? So when you are pushing an item, what you are supposed to do? First, you should increment, right? First, we should increment the pointer, which is not pointer, top variable or the index number. Got it? We should increment the top variable, which is nothing but index number of the topmost element in the stack. Then we have to insert the element into that index position. Got it? First, we have to increment, then we have to copy the new item into the topmost position. So here I have written the 2 statements into one line. So actually I told we have to increment the top index number, and then what you have to do in the next line, what you will be doing, you may be remembering that lines. So what you will do, you will be pushing, how the push operation is done, stack of top equal to ch. In that program I had given item